One of the most important things you can do while you're working is to save your documents. Now, I've mentioned this quite a few times in some of the other tutorials that I've done. A long time ago, when I first started my writing career, I was writing a novel and I was probably halfway done. And I started a new chapter and I was almost finished this chapter when I had a short in my apartment which shorted out my computer and shorted out the lights, and then of course I lost that whole chapter. So I didn't save, I went into shock, woke up a couple of years later. So what you have to do is get yourself into the habit of saving your work. The easiest way to do this is to find out what the shortcut key is to save. Now, chances are good it's going to be either Command or Control and the letter S. So every 5 minutes I suggest you press that on your keyboard, because it's way better to lose 5 minutes of work and just have to start from the last version you saved than having to start completely from scratch. And it may seem like a minor thing, but even an illustration like this, which wasn't that difficult to do, I wouldn't be able to replicate it in exactly the same fashion if I were to start from scratch. But let's say I was working on this guy and I was finished everything except for the bottle and the eye. Well, as long as I can go back and open up the last version I had, I can recreate this. It might not look the same, but I can at least kind of get it the way it was. So having said that, you're going to go to the File menu and you can choose to manually hit Save, and whenever it's ghosted out, that means you've already saved, and at this point you're good to go until you want to save again. So I'm going to go ahead and make a change to this document. I'll move something around. If you make any change at all, then you'll be able to save again, because a slight modification re-enables the save option. Now, what if you want to save versions of your artwork as you work? Well, you could do that as well. Here, you would choose Save As. So with Save As, you could rename this file if you wanted. So I'll go to my desktop, I'll choose Save As, and on my desktop, I can call this Hot Sauce V for version 2, or whatever I wanted to. So I could say Hot Sauce A, for example, and then when I save another version, I could change that to B. So if it crashes, my computer that is, I can always go to File Open and open up the last version that I saved. You can also choose to save as a copy, and you have the ability to save for web and devices when you're finally ready to take your artwork and use it online. This option is also available if you use Adobe Photoshop. What it simply does is it intelligently knows how to compress your file to give you the best quality while giving you a very small footprint. So the file could be beautiful, but only take a little bit of space. Now you see that we have Save Selected Slices here. This works in conjunction when you want to slice your artwork up with the Slice tool. And the tool is located over here. These tools allow you to cut your artwork up into little chunks that can then be brought into a web design application. So we're not going to cover that right now. So once again, when you're working, try to get into the habit of pressing the keyboard shortcut Command or Control S every 5 to 10 minutes. It's just a smart way to work.